Thanks for joining us today for Think Big with Michael Zellner podcast, powered by Platinum Jewelers. Joining me today for my guest for episode 130 is Richard McCracken. Richard and his wife Molly are owners of Memphis Kitchen Co-op and Marketplace and Amplified Meal Prep. He graduated from Central Missouri State University in Warrensburg, Missouri in 2004. He is originally from Fort Madison, Iowa. He is definitely a go-getter and involved in several different businesses over the years. Is the owner or co-owner, and I'm excited to have him on the show today to talk and hear about some of the great things he's done before and that him and his wife Molly are doing now. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome, Richard.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I mentioned you're from Fort Madison, Iowa. It's a small city, about 10,000 people. What was it like for you growing up in a small town?
Well, yeah, it was, well, I had some advantages. I was actually born in Chicago, so I lived there till I was like 3 or 4, and then I moved to Iowa. But my grandma was actually the mayor. So it was, it's small town life, of course, but she was on the city council and she was the mayor when I was in high school. So it's kind of kind of funny. And I actually lived with my grandparents my last 2 years in Iowa, because my family moved down to Arkansas and I wanted to stay up there and wrestle and stuff. So it was cool. Like you definitely have a different perspective,
right?
Especially when you get to a larger city like Memphis or something like that. So
sure, I bet everybody knew everybody's business back then.
100%. But I was so young, like I didn't really know anything.
Yeah, it's all you knew.
Business.
Yeah, it's all you knew. You graduated from Fort Madison High School, the Bloodhounds. What are some of your favorite memories of your childhood and high school years from with your friends outside of the wrestling?
Oh, just basic memories, I guess. Like our house that we had was like literally across the streets from the junior high school. So like I had like a 22-second walk to school. It was literally across the street. So my front yard was the field for the middle school. So I was over there. We would play tackle football every single Saturday and Sunday, and just growing up, just having a really big core group of friends. And then we were all on our bikes, and it's not like it is today. Like,
sure,
I don't let my little girl leave the house by herself. And then when I was a little kid, like 10 years old, I'd be gone for like 7 hours out of the day by myself.
Exactly. Same here. I mean, I used to sneak out of my window at night, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and ride my bike up to Kroger to get toilet paper or eggs, do stupid stuff. I mean, I couldn't even imagine having kids do that today. I mean, I would have, you're not getting out that window.
Well, yeah, but like I said, it's a lot different, Memphis compared to a small town like that.
Yeah, but even back then when I grew up, as a kid in the late 80s and even into the 90s, you never thought of that, compared to what we look at today. We never thought that we had that danger around us as much. You thought a little bit, but not to the extent it is now, even in the large city.
Well, yeah, I mean, and honestly, I mean, I don't know if it's more danger now, just because we're more aware of it now because of social media, and everybody is so much more informed, and sometimes too informed.
Absolutely.
But now, statistically speaking, it could have been the same.
Yeah.
Some of the crime stuff back then, but now you're just more aware of it now. So you want to pull back more.
Exactly. Looking at you now, no one would have ever guessed that back in high school, you're this little 110-pound wrestler. What got you? Yeah, little guy. What got you into wrestling? If I had to guess, you probably, the type of guy that you are, you probably were pretty good.
Yeah. What got me in it was I was a 5-year-old and I just got kicked out of kindergarten for being I was a handful. So my mom needed to put me in something that could harness all my energy. and she put me in wrestling, and it was the best thing that's happened. It just really kind of focused me and gave me an outlet for like all my extra energy and stuff like that.
That's cool. Yeah. But,
So
getting out there on the mat you were very competitive. Did you know, is that what led you to go to Central Missouri State? Did you wrestle there?
yes, I wrestled there. I was a 4 year starter for all my colleges, and did pretty well. So, and then after I wrestled for like 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then from 5 to 25, basically
Yeah.
24, and then I transitioned, did some professional fighting, some mixed martial arts. Loved that, but I think when I got into it, I was a little old, so I ended up, in my 30s, I was fighting, so that's never fun.
Right.
And
So
then
after,
that kind of got me in, different clique here in Memphis, and that kind of stuff.
So after you graduated from high school, you got into the professional, fighting in, I guess, in your mid 20s to mid 30s. Was that enjoyable for you? Did you like it? I mean, were you able to make a living doing that?
Oh, no, 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 no. I was, when I say professional, I mean, I got paid like bare minimum in fights. I got paid like the bare minimum in fights, and like I said, I was like in my mid 30s, so I wasn't great at it,
Yeah,
but I had a good wrestling base, so it put me ahead of some things. So,
sure. You said, quote, just wandering through life trying to experience as much as I can before I settle down, unquote. Then you quoted this, quote, all life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better, unquote. Now, I take it you probably said that first quote about settling down years ago, before you got married.
most definitely.
But what does that second part mean to you? All life is an experiment. The more experience you make, the better.
Well, kind of exactly what it says. The more things you get out and try, everyday life can lead you to just certain things, like you going, taking a vacation and seeing like this cute little, restaurant or something. And then you're like, oh my God, that would be, great where I live. And then you go
Right.
back there and you duplicate their restaurant and you become successful. So like every little thing that you experience in life can lead you to a different path, lead you to a different business, lead you to a better life. Just as if you have your eyes open, you're experiencing things, you can really transition some of your other parts of your life into bigger and better.
Absolutely. And we learn from all our mistakes too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You definitely got to have the mistakes.
Yeah. So I know you said your family, moved down to Arkansas. How did a small town boy from Iowa end up and moving to Memphis?
Well, it's a crazy little story. So, I was on my last year of college, and I was in Virginia Beach on spring break with my buddy Reese, and I was playing golf, and I met this guy and told him what I was going to school for. I think they're in the foursome next to us or something. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And he told me he worked for Ovations Catering. And he's like, I'd hire you right now. And I was like, well, unfortunately, you can't because I need an internship.
Sure.
And he goes, here's my number. Call me Monday. He goes, I'll have you an internship. And I was like, whatever, guy
Right.
drinking on a golf course in
Yeah.
Virginia, So literally, I call him Monday. I was like, hey, man. He goes, I've been waiting for your call. He goes, I got you an internship interview. He's like, this Saturday, you got to drive down to Memphis. I was like, holy crap. Okay. So, no, I drove down to Memphis, had a interview at the Redbird Stadium with Ovations Catering, and then they gave me an internship. So then I call my buddy Reese from Virginia, and he goes, you know who lives in Memphis? He's like, John Arroyo, which was Twitch
Right.
at the time. So I call Twitch up, and Twitch is like, hey, move in with me. Because I knew John from Little Rock. Because
Okay.
after Iowa, I moved to Arkansas, and then I met John in Little Rock. And then, so then John just became Twitch at 93X.
Yes.
And then so I moved in with John for that summer, and it was pretty insane.
I met Twitch back 2005.
Okay.
From 2005 to 2010, I had this pool party house out in Cordova, right by
I've been
the.
there.
Did you come?
I've been there once or
Okay.
twice.
Okay. Yeah, and I used to have all those pool parties, and that's how I met Twitch. And
Because
yeah,
Brooks was a good friend of mine, and I've been there once or twice with Brooks.
okay, yeah. I haven't seen Brooks in a long time. I know she's
Yeah.
married now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, but those were some fun times back then. I go back and look at those pictures. And I'm like, oh my god, yeah, those were just a lot of fun times. But Twitch was crazy back then.
Oh, Twitch was insane.
Yes, I still,
So you can imagine me living with him for the
yeah,
summer.
exactly.
It definitely, he really kind of, uh, I made a lot of connections in Memphis through Twitch
Sure.
that really, kind of when I ended up going through like all my internships and then I worked on the East Coast for like 3 or 4 years, I ended up being like, I really want to move back to Memphis and kind of make my roots there. So
That's neat. What is I never knew that story. I never knew that you knew him in Little Rock and how all
mhm.
that happened.
I knew
Yeah.
Twitch before. I knew Twitch when he was intern John.
Okay.
That was his name when he was at one of the radio stations in Little Rock because
Right.
he was an intern there and they called him Intern John.
That's
So I knew him
funny.
before he was Twitch.
Man, he is so good on the radio.
Oh yeah, always
He
great. He's a
really is.
professional, consummate
Yeah. Yeah.
professional, and then his business is really taking off as well. So good for them.
Absolutely. I love watching his reels and stuff online and stuff in
Oh
his
yeah.
videos. He is really good at what he does. And so that,
Mhm.
yeah, I like that a lot. It was fun interviewing him. He was one of my first, I want to say 20 or so podcasts. I interviewed him
Okay.
last July. So about a year ago I had him on.
Nice,
So
nice.
that was a lot of fun. You talk about a lot of friends here in Memphis, Richard. I believe one of them is Nick Harmeyer.
Yeah, yeah.
You helped them with V3 fights and
hmm
eventually went into business with Ultimate Food. Tell us how you got started in your friendship with him.
Well, it was I've known Nick for a long, long time, and the we met him through John and just partying. I think he was Loca Luna. No, it wasn't Loca Luna. I forget where they. He was a bartender of. Where was it? What was a place where they just gave away a shit ton of liquor to everybody? It was a Mexican restaurant that at night it turned into a club. I forget what it was, but Nick was a bartender there.
Right.
And I think he was just graduating from U of M at that time. And then, yeah, so we just kind of become good friends. And whenever I would come into town, I would stay with Nick because I did my internship, but I still had a year left of school. So I would go, and this is crazy. I would drive back to Warrensburg, Missouri, which was, I think, a 6 hour, 5 hour drive from here.
Right.
Almost every weekend I would come back to Memphis and I would stay at Nick's house.
How did you make it back to Missouri?
Well, it's cool. I had Fridays off,
Okay.
so I get done at like Thursday at like noon, and I could be in Memphis around Thursday night. So,
So you had Sunday to recover.
oh yeah.
Was
Sunday
it
would be a drive home day.
lots
It
of
was
fun
crazy then.
times?
Crazy then. Oh, nuts.
August 2014, Memphis Health and Fitness magazine. Cover of the magazine had two really ripped athletes on there, a young lady named Serena Branch
Uh,
and some guy, who's just about 38 years old and completely ripped named, Richard McCracken. How did that come about?
well, I was been on the cover 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
So then that one wasn't. I accidentally they I wasn't even in shape for that cover.
Whatever.
I was well, no, it's like they actually something fell through and they called me. It was like the day before, and Serena was always in shape. So I was like, son of a gun.
Right.
But you know, just got on the cover there. Amy Good, who is the editor of Memphis Health and Fitness, she's a really good friend of ours. And just always been into health and fitness. I think I was on Most Fit People in Memphis issue, and then me and Molly recently, I think 2 years ago, we were on the Fittest Couples, and we were on the cover. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's good. So I think I've had two covers now. which is good.
I mean, for you, maybe for you, you weren't in the best shape, but I mean, my God, you were
Yeah.
still,
Well, I'm not complaining
ripped.
now. Trust me, I'd like to look like that right now.
Yeah,
I mean, we
exactly.
have 3 businesses right now and 2 kids, and I'll tell you what, it's just, when you're younger, you're like, oh, I'll never not have
Right.
time to do all that. But once you get in it, you're like, oh, Jesus, it's 8 o'clock.
Yep. I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Richard, I heard a story about you hating and being so scared of spiders so much that one time, instead of stomping on it and killing it yourself, you actually put a cup over this big spider that was on your kitchen floor. You left the house and you waited for Molly to get home, from practice to kill it. Now,
Yeah, I have a no kill. I've never killed an animal in my whole life.
wow,
Never ran over an animal ever. You know,
not even a mosquito?
well, that doesn't count.
Okay.
But if a
Okay.
bug gets a certain size, I feel uncomfortable killing it,
Yeah.
and so I just don't. I usually catch and release them.
Nice.
So, but spiders, really, as gross and horrific as they are, they do have jobs to do outside.
Yeah.
So I always let all spiders go because I mean they kill all the other bugs that you don't want around. I mean you don't want the spiders around either, but you
Right.
know all that. So,
Yeah. I
yeah,
understand.
I've gotten better. I've gotten better
Yeah.
about it, but
That was a funny story.
yeah.
Back to Molly. How did a guy from Iowa and a girl from Ohio meet? And, where did you guys go on your first date?
Well, we both worked at Wellworks for Sheridan Hibbard.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you know Sheridan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we worked for him and we met there. And then I didn't see her for like a couple years. And then finally we saw each other at a or I saw her at Walmart. And then like a month later, I see her at a Grizzlies game. And then kind of approached her, all this, and then we went out. I think our first date we went to a trampoline park. Yeah,
Real. Oh my gosh, that must have been fun.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Does Memphis have? Where's the trampoline park here?
They got a couple. Urban Air is one of the newer ones. There's 2 or 3 Urban Air, and then ironically, where Wellworks is now is a trampoline park. So kind of funny.
No coincidences.
No, I know, right?
Yeah. You were, I mean, running into her. I've talked about this a lot on podcasts, the power of a moment and how things happen the way they're supposed to happen. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you guys run into each other the way y'all ran into each other. Y'all were supposed to be together.
It looks that way. It looks that way. I mean, sometimes I question it. No, not just kidding.
This is a really great story. I know you guys have shared a lot, but probably obviously there's some people that haven't heard it. What inspired you and Molly to start Amplified Meal Prep in 2017?
Well, it I was kind of jaded on the whole food thing, and I didn't want to do anything in food. And then, I took like a year off and kind of hung out and just, did a few little things here. I was bartending downtown and stuff like that. And then I think 2 of my friends, Jeremy and Matthew, they were begging me to just come to their house and make them food. And I was like, I really don't want to, blah, blah, blah. So like, please just do it. So I went to their house and made them like meal prep for the whole week. And then, they're like, oh, you got to come back next week. So I come back next week, did it. And then on the 3rd week, they're like, oh, we have 2 friends that want you to do it too. And then it got up to like 6 people, 8 people, 12 people the next week. So after like 2 months, I had like 20 more clients. I'm like, well, damn it, this isn't what I wanted to do,
Right.
And then it got crazy. Then we couldn't cook at their house anymore because we were just too busy. So then, we had like all this momentum and then we just started doing some other things. We did like this custom thing where I tailored it more to like bodybuilders. And then it just kind of snowballed and grew and grew and grew, and then here we are in 2023, it grew enough where we were able to buy our own building, we have probably over $600,000 in equipment that we paid for. So it went pretty fast, which is good.
Absolutely. What a story. Now, did you learn cooking at an early age, or did you?
Yeah, I've cooked since I was like 10 years old with my mom. So,
Okay,
and it's always been a passion. That's kind of what I went to school for. And then, working in so many restaurants and just, something always with food because like, no matter what, people are going to have to eat. And if you look at people's lives, no matter what it is, if they're trying to diet or, if they're going through a breakup or if they're happy and celebrating, everything revolves around food. It
sure.
really, really does. So just having those skills, really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Great testimonials from satisfied customers are
Oh yeah.
vital, and especially in today's social media world. Jason Jackson said, quote, the best part of the day is always opening the fridge and getting to pick out which meal is next. And the fact that I didn't have to shop, prep, or cook any of it. Thanks, Eat Amped. You guys make getting and staying on track with food super easy. If you're busy with kids, work, and just life, this is for you, I promise. Unquote. Sounds to me like you guys, save people a lot of time and aggravation.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like uh I mean, you just what's an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours of your time worth, and it's just also the choices. I mean, one of the hardest choices you have at like 4 o'clock is like, hey, what do you want for dinner? And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, and just if you got to go somewhere, if you got to walk out of the house and go somewhere, that's 2 hours, so that could have been 2 hours you're doing something else, 2 hours you're just hanging out with family, 2 hours, you got to finish the deck or the lawn or whatever you're doing, it just saves you time if you have that food already there and it's good quality food, it's portioned just right and it's nutritious.
So
So
is everything that you guys carry, is it nutritious, or do you have obviously some goodies too?
well, everything that AMP carries is nutritious.
Okay.
So we have another company where we do casseroles. It's called Mimi's Meals. And that stuff is not well, there's nutrition in it, but it's made with butter and cream.
Yeah.
So it's more of we have a casserole company called Mimi's Meals, and it's more of a convenience and just, that kind of thing where you can just buy a bunch of casseroles and that's what you're having that night.
Right.
You throw it in the oven, hour and a half later, it's done, and no cook, no clean, no prep. So pretty easy.
Yeah, sounds awesome to me. There's lots of meal prep companies out there. What differentiates Amplified Meal Prep from other meal prep services? Because obviously what you guys doing is working really well.
Yeah, yeah, just being local and we're available. Like you could literally, my phone number's on the website. So when you call it, I answer. And I answer my phone 24/7. You could call me at 1 a.m. and be like, hello. So and we're just extremely competitive in pricing. We have good recipes, good meals, and then everything's fresh. We make it there and you come and buy it. We could deliver right to your house on Sundays, or you can walk into our brick and mortar store and buy it anytime. So
Are you shopping for a new watch, an engagement ring, any kind of jewelry at all? What's up, Memphis? This is Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Grizzlies, encouraging you all to shop where I shop, Platinum Jewelers here in Memphis. Platinum Jewelers has a big selection of earrings, stockable rings, luxury watches, necklaces, bracelets, really whenever you need. 9387 Poplar next to Fresh Market in Germantown. So if you need anything jewelry related, go to my spot, Platinum Jewelers.
How are y'all able to ensure the quality and freshness of all the meal prep offerings? What steps do you take to, accommodate people that maybe have some, dietary restrictions or preferences?
well, like the steps we take is I buy from local and trusted purveyors, make sure everything comes in. We inspect everything when it comes in. Anything that doesn't meet any standards, we throw it out and then just go get more of the raw ingredients. Whenever we cook anything, we cool it extremely fast. So if you know anything about food safety, you have just a certain amount of time where your food wants to be between the temperatures of 41 degrees to 140. So after you cook it, you want to cool it as fast as you can. And the faster you cool it, the longer it lasts. So, and you get the freshness locked in. And then anybody with diet restrictions, all of our food is labeled, dairy free, gluten free, has gluten in it, has dairy in it, sesame seeds, shellfish, whatever, we accommodate, what other different kind of allergens you may have.
Awesome. Phil McClendon, a guy I've known for probably over 15 years, met him back in the days at my pool parties. I like him a lot. He said this about you guys, quote, "Not only is this food delicious, not only is it affordable, you can eat it guilt-free knowing you're putting healthy food in your body. I recently injured my back and was upset because I couldn't go to the gym, but I'm still losing weight just by eating this amazing food. Rick and Molly, you guys are a godsend. Thank you for making eating healthy and enjoyable for me," unquote. So it sounds like saving people money. They eat well. They lose weight. Great combination.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Phil's a great customer of ours. I've known Phil forever, back from the Fox and the Hound days.
Yes, that's for
before that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're in my parties, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He was the security guy there at the door.
Yep.
Yeah, he was, Phil, big guy, very intimidating when you walk in there. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, no one's gonna mess with that guy.
Nope.
Yeah. You said, quote, "I see people all the time say support local small business, but are we really helping support them? Just a simple share of a post can help so much. This current recession is absolutely killing so many small businesses. Please help out as much as you can, even if it's a 4-second hit the share button. That's it, 4 seconds of your time. Thank you," unquote. I've always said share the good, and this is a perfect example of, especially, when it's your friends. It's like you said, it only takes 4 seconds to share something good.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times people they see things and don't share it. It just blows my mind. Like, you'll go on my feed right now, and it's like, if I see anybody post something that says, "I have a job open," I share that immediately. So, anything that'll help people, if I run across something and it needs to be shared, I share it. And I don't understand why more people aren't like that. So it's just crazy. It's like everybody wants to do like this, support this local thing, but what does that really mean? Like, I thought it was funny. Last year, I almost took a picture of this lady and posted it on Facebook, but I didn't, because I was like, nah, it's kind of a dick move. Right. But I remember on the back of her car, it had a bumper sticker and it said "Eat Local." And literally she was pulling up to IHOP. Oh. She could have went to the pancake shop. Yep. She could have went to Brother Juniper's. She could have went anywhere else, but it says "Eat Local" on the back of her car, and she's pulling up right there at IHOP. So it's funny that people like to think it's the cool thing to kind of jump on. Yeah, eat local, shop local, whatever. But when it comes down to it, do people really do that? Like, sometimes, like, helping local is more as just sharing something out.
Yeah.
And that's, it's just, people don't realize how much of an impact they had. Like, I mean, I'll share things and they'll get like 10 shares, just imagine what impact it'd have if it had, like, I have like 5,000 Facebook friends. If just a 25% of them shared it, 1,250 people, boom, and it's out, that's huge.
Now it's viral.
Yeah. Now, well, just here, I don't need it to go viral. Because we really don't service anywhere else but Memphis. I just want it to be a little more local, a little more known local. Like, if you walk around, if you ask 100 people if they heard of Memphis Kitchen Co-op and or Amplify Meal Prep, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 out of every 100 would be like, "Oh yeah." So I think as a community, we need to really help each other out a lot more with that in just the local scene.
I agree 100%. 100%. That would have been funny if you had shared that picture, though. I know that would have been funny.
I know. I almost did. And I was like, no, I don't want to be like that.
So I hear the story. You and Molly were at an Airbnb in Moab, Utah, with some friends. Or is it Moab or Moab? Moab. Sorry. Chef Richard was making some steaks. The whole grill that took up to the gas on the wall was on fire. You were also grilling one time at home. The whole bottom fell out. It caught on fire. Molly says she loves to tease you that you've burnt down way too many grills. I mean,
I've
especially
actually taken out 3 grills now.
oh, tell us about the third one.
Well, the Moab one, none of them were my fault. Okay. None of them were my fault. FYI or PSA, whatever you want to do, if you have a grill, you need to clean out the bottom, because what happens is, if you cook on that thing for a year straight, it's going to accumulate a lot of oil on the bottom and grease from steak, chicken, pork, whatever you're cooking. So what happened in Moab is the owners of the grill never cleaned the bottom. So I did reverse seared butter basted steaks. So
man, that sounds
put
good.
them on the grill and then basted them with butter. It ignited everything on the bottom. So it was one of these grills that the actual grill is piped into the natural gas in the condo. So we were like, oh crap, and we shut off the gas, and it was still a blazing inferno. So we had to get a fire extinguisher and take it out. And then I think one time the whole bottom of the grill dropped out, and it was like fire everywhere, same kind of thing. That was just like an old grill that it was just rusted out on the bottom. And then the third one I killed was at her parents' house, and same thing. Her dad never cleaned the bottom of it.
Right.
I was actually doing Wagyu steaks on those, which a Wagyu steak is, it's an Australian Wagyu. So it's got 3 times as much fat in it than a regular steak. And it just flared it up, but then it ignited all that. And it was pretty crazy. So we had to extinguish that one too. So, I mean, nothing on my part. This is all equipment error, I believe.
I bet there were some good laughs during those times.
Oh, yeah, quite a few. So
good times. Quote, and this goes to what we've been talking about. Quote, so many of you don't know about a business we own, Memphis Kitchen Co-op and Marketplace. It's a passion project for us. Basically what it is, a small food business incubator. We help small food businesses become successful by giving them a commercial kitchen space to make their food and products out of. We also have a marketplace where they can sell their products. We have about 40 to 50 vendors that sell out of the marketplace. Please come check us out and help some local small businesses, unquote. Another huge project that you guys have, Richard. What an amazing concept. And you and I remember when we met, for the second time, I didn't remember meeting you at my pool party just because I had
you a lot going on.
Yeah, back then I didn't know that I'd met you. I thought the first time I met you was at Trainer in Jessica's house.
No,
and you were telling me about this, and I just thought, what an amazing concept. Tell the audience a little bit more about how it works and how it all came about.
So basically it's just a kitchen co-op where small businesses that can't afford their own kitchen space. So if you were to open up, let's say in this analogy, I think I told you, let's say your Aunt Sally, makes the best peanut butter pie in the world. And you're like, you should sell this. And finally she's like, yes, I'm going to go sell it. Right. So she goes out and she finds like a small little spot, to rent. And it's like $2,500 a month, and then she looks at an oven. Let's say she wants a double stack oven. It's like $9,000. Let's say she wants just a 6-burner stove. It's $3,000. Then you're in it, you got your electric bill is going to be right around $800-900 a month. You got your insurance, all your small wares, just everything you got to go. Let's say you got to get a POS system. You got to do that, your website, all that stuff. Pretty soon, like just to open a small brick and mortar, you're going to probably spend right around, $20,000. And then
minimum.
She hasn't even sold a single pie yet. You got to get licensed, health inspected. The Department of Agriculture needs to come in and inspect you and stuff like that. So, that really turns a lot of people off because you're like, oh, so it's going to take me 20 grand to start this business up. And then I'm going to have to sign a 3 or 4 year lease. And then let's say you fail in the first year. Guess what? You still got to pay that lease back every month for 4 more years.
They make you sign personally for it.
Yeah, and that's where we come in. So for as low as like $250 a month, you could start your business, and it's you have no overhead. All you do is pay rent. You get your own insurance, and they have really affordable like food insurance. I think it's like as low as like $25 a month. It's called Flip Food Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then also all you need is a business license, and then you're good to go. And you just come in our kitchen and you reserve time, you reserve equipment, you come in there, and we have a huge 6,500 square foot kitchen. We have 17 ovens. I mean, just it's insane. Yeah. So just the building is awesome. And we help market, give you advice. John is our marketing guy, so he really helps on that aspect as well, but it just gives you a leg up. So now for you to start your business, it's $250 instead of 20,000.
Big difference.
And then what you could do is you get in there and you start making money, start building clientele, start getting a name for yourself, and start saving money. So every 3 months get busier, and then pretty soon your goal is to outgrow our kitchen space where you need to get your own spot. And we've had quite a few success stories that really have used us to kind of catapult them into their own spots. So it's been really good.
That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that concept is just, to me, it's just amazing that I can't even think about where you guys are going to be. I mean, in several years from now,
I don't know. Probably
how do you,
right here.
how do you envision the future growth and development of both companies? Actually, all three companies.
Well, right now it's just a recession right now. So we're just kind of scuttling. We're not going up. We're not going down. So it's not bad, but it could be better. It can always be better. Trust me on that. But right now we're just getting everybody in, and everybody has the same problems. We have tenants that are slow paying right now because they're slow too, and it's hard to grow when not all the money's coming in, and then we still have all our overhead to that we have to pay for that we just can't stop. So a lot of money is just getting kind of funneled in a small spot right now. So we just got to stick it out, make sure we're good to go through this recession. And then as soon as everybody starts buying things again, we'll be good.
Everything has its ebbs and flows. It'll turn back
absolutely.
around again for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt. Besides, the recession, have there been any other challenges that y'all faced in, building the successful food co-op? And, what lessons do you think you've learned along the way?
Co-op, definitely a lot of lessons. With the co-op, probably at the beginning we just let anybody in there, and then we needed a more rigorous check on everybody, make sure everybody's a little bit more legit. A lot of people that came into our co-op at first had never even stepped foot inside a commercial kitchen. And a lot of people haven't. It's not the same as your kitchen. The equipment's huge. It's super powerful. Just like the dishwasher, it's like your dishwasher at home takes 40 minutes. My dishwasher at my kitchen takes 2. It's just everything is just faster. So people come in and they're just a little intimidated by the size, and like my ovens are just huge, 200,000 BTUs and stuff like that. So it's just, that's one of the things I think we kind of implemented, like a little bit more training for them. And then on all of our equipment, we have little QR codes that people scan, and then they can see a video on how to use it and stuff. So we've done a lot of like, we need more instructions. So that's definitely a learning. You can't have enough signage. Never.
Right. You told me back then that I have to come out there and take a look at it. So I know that's for sure, that I have to come out there and take a look at it, because I know just talking about some of the food that you've talked about, that I think for someone like me who is yo-yoed in weight up and down, having that balance probably would help somebody like me with my weight too.
Oh, absolutely. At the co-op, one of the cool things is we sell in our marketplace. Our marketplace is open to all of our vendors. So if they make the food there in the marketplace or in the co-op, they could sell their food in our marketplace. So when you walk in, there's I think we got about 40 different vendors where you could buy things from right now. So it's very cool.
There's a little one that come and say,
yeah, we got a little a guest that wants to stop the podcast.
It happens all the time. Little kids and dogs. It's always welcome.
Oh yeah.
You said, quote, I just want to help people, unquote. Why is that so important to you and Molly?
Well, I mean, just because like I know how hard it is to start from scratch again, and starting from scratch is really tough. And sometimes people just need a little help, there's been so many times where a couple of people have helped me that it really has made the difference on. And I think that's what we kind of provide. We give everybody a jump start that starts everything up. And, that's sometimes all you need.
Yeah.
So, because like when you're starting, if you want to start a new business, it's like, it looks like a daunting task. It really does. But, if you come in and take a tour with us, we kind of break it down for you. And we're like, listen, it's not that easy. You get your business license in less than 24 hours and you can get your insurance in probably 15 minutes. So you could literally be starting your own business within one day.
Right.
And people don't realize that, it just, you're gonna have to work your ass off, I mean, that's one of the things that that has really opened my eyes to. People don't realize like how hard it is. When we started Amplified, I worked both jobs for I think 2 or 3 years. So I would work, I worked for Aramark and I would work 50 hours for them. And then I'd work 20 to 30 for AMP every single week. So that's 70 to 80 hours. But, so basically like all my time, my free time was my side business, which that just shows you I worked my ass off on it for 3 years. And then my side business became my business. Right. So then I was able to quit my job, be supported solely by Amplified. And then a year later, Molly worked for 1 more year. So we solidified everything. And then she quit her job. So now we're both, but I worked and we were in another kitchen with other people as well. And it was like, you just do it till you can't anymore. And that's when, it's a time to switch. So, right. But yeah, but I get a lot of people that come in, like I have had people come in that literally are starting their food business and they quit their jobs the day before. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right. That's not the way, because you're not going to be able, people think they're going to be super, super successful right away and have a lot of sales and all that stuff. And you just don't, people don't realize your overhead costs. If you sell, $3,000 in food, right, 30% of that was food costs. So that $3,000 is now $2,000. And then, 10% of that was taxes, let's say you had help, 30% of that was help. If you got containers and then rent and everything after that. So out of that $3,000, you're left with like, $700. And you're like, oh,
it's so funny how people think that way. Like, when I had Sleepy Z's, we were doing $1.5 million, $2 million a year. And I would have people say, oh my God, he's a millionaire. I'm like, no. You have no idea. You only see the money come in there and you have no idea all the money that's going out. I'm not even close to being a millionaire.
Yeah. Well, yeah. People don't realize like just to run our kitchen is $12,000 to $14,000 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's nuts, and that's just on mortgage, insurance. Hell, my electric bill and gas and everything last month was $5,000. So
Yeah.
So people don't realize like how much my overhead, and that stuff never stops.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, yes, that never stops. So, and once that's a huge chunk that comes out of it, and you're like, now you got pennies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It's
And
good.
still trying
I'm
to
not
continue to
complaining.
grow.
There's times I wish I worked for someone else, but then I'm like, it'll be like Tuesday at 2 p.m. and I could come home and do whatever I want.
Right. Right. That's the positive. One of the
Yeah.
positives of it for sure.
Yeah.
Molly said, quote, "Happy birthday to this handsome husband of mine. It's not always easy being married to your business partner, but we make it work. And you are always my rock. We love you so much," unquote. That's awesome. Why do you think this has worked so well with the two of you? And tell us about Molly, who also is an IFBB, was it IFBB pro?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously who I know you love so much.
Well, it works mainly because I'm her boss. So that helps. If she was my boss, it would be a little harder probably. But no, we have a great working dynamic. I mean, sometimes we flare up and it's whatever, but when you run three different businesses with one person, and it's like, I think division of labor was really the hardest thing to get going. But now we have a very defined role for each of us, and that has really helped with everything. So because there's no more, I thought you were doing it.
Right. I think that's
where,
huge.
Yeah, that's where you have to really make sure on that right away. So
tell us a little bit more about your adorable children who have both entered into the picture, and also your doggies. I see you post lots of pictures of too.
Yeah, so we have two kids. We have a little 8-year-old named Kaylee, and we just had another one. I think he's 18 months now. He's a handful. Too much. So yeah, children are a young man's game. So thank God. I don't think I can have, oh my God, that was rough. Like, we just got out of all the sleep regression, and he's sleeping all through the night, which is, man, once you can't sleep because of a child and then you get your sleep back, it is amazing thing. Like, you don't take it for granted anymore. Like, I'm just now getting back at 8-9 hours of sleep, which is insane. So
right.
Love it.
Yeah, having it that, it's amazing that when that just a couple extra hours of sleep a night, the difference that I think.
Oh, it's 100% amazing. So, and then they keep us pretty busy. So, but I have such a great life with them because I'm not a traditional parent. I don't go to work 9 to 5. I work at home on Thursday, and then the only days we really, I mean, honestly, I'm on call 24/7.
Sure.
I'm always going up there. But Thursday is my mandatory day, work from home till about 8 o'clock at night. But I'm here, and then I'm in the kitchen on Fridays and Saturdays. So really my three biggest days are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I do paperwork throughout the whole week, on the computer. We're doing shopping. I'm sitting down doing shopping lists, making my orders on Cisco and GFS and whatever like that, but mainly I just work those 3 solid days. So I have a unique ability. Like, I give my kids so much attention. I'm sure they're sick of me. So,
but it's things like that. All those little things are things that they're going to remember. It pays off in the long run.
Let's hope.
It definitely will. What do you believe are the most important lessons that you learned in your life?
Oh, that I don't know everything. Every day, I constantly learn things, even from like my employees. Like, I tell everybody, if you got a way that saves us 5 minutes on something, let me know. We'll implement it. I am the master at finding faster ways to do everything. I was like, okay, how can we shave 10 minutes off of this? You shave, if you got 20 tasks, that you're doing in a day, and you shave 2 minutes off of each task, you just, saved almost an hour,
Right.
so we're always, trying to find faster and more efficient ways to do things. And I think the mindset that I always encompass is I don't know everything, and I think that my employees really respect that too, because, I'm like, yeah, if you tell me what you think, I don't, I'm not, I'm not always right. I
Right.
know this, I'm right. I run about 50% throughout my daily life. So,
And I think people respect that too, because they feel
uh,
like that they have an input that makes a difference.
it just blows my mind, the people that always want to get like the last word in and always think they're right about everything. I'm like, it's crazy. I would rather be wrong and happy than right and miserable.
Absolutely. How can people find you guys and follow you on social media?
Just Memphis Kitchen Co-op. We got Amplified Meal Prep, and then Mimi's Meals. So that's all our businesses on our social. The websites are right on there. You just click right there, go on it as well. So
And what about where's your location where they can come out to your location in
our
Cordova?
location is in Cordova, right off of a Germantown Parkway. It's Fischer Steel. I think everybody knows the area. It's right over there where Discount Tire and that Wendy's is, and then we're right
Yeah.
behind Kaiser Flooring.
Okay.
So
I know
we own that
exactly where you are.
building right behind Kaiser Flooring. So
Yep. I used to be over there. Like we talked about, the Fox and the Hound was over there.
yeah, Fox and Hound, that is the parking lot, Fox and Hound parking lot. And then right across the street is City Hall. So
Okay. Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to thank our sponsor for Think Big with Michael Zellner, Platinum Jewelers. They're located at 9387 Poplar Avenue in Germantown, right past Johnson Road before you hit Collierville. Beautiful selection of all different kinds of jewelry that you just have to go really see and appreciate yourself. Richard, we've been Facebook friends for many years, and like I said, I didn't realize that I'd met you back in the days with Twitch. I thought that we had first met in person, at Trainer and Jessica's Christmas party when you were telling me about, your businesses and everything. And from what I saw online, I just knew that you had to come on the show because
Yeah, man.
what you guys are doing is just so unique and awesome. And just like you said, you want to help people, and you're definitely doing that. So I can't wait to see the growth of y'all's businesses over the next several years. I think once again, you're definitely, both of you guys are two people who really do think big. So I appreciate you joining me today on the podcast.
All right. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you too. Thanks so much.
All right.
Take care.